Ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of surprising us. People leave, drift away, or grow distant, and we're left questioning what went wrong. But I want you to understand one thing: when someone walks away, it's not the end of the story, it's the beginning of your transformation. When life presents us with challenges, especially those involving relationships and connections with others, it is easy to become consumed by what is lost. We focus so intently on the absence of someone that we lose sight of the opportunity it creates for our personal growth. But in those moments of separation, the true test begins, not a test of waiting or longing, but of transformation. This isn't about changing for someone else or proving a point to anyone. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that aligns with your highest potential. Growth is not just about achieving external milestones, it is an inner journey that requires a deep understanding of who you are and what you stand for. When someone's absence becomes a catalyst for reflection, it is a signal to shift your focus inward. Instead of asking, "Why did they leave?" ask, "What can I learn about myself from this experience?" The power of self-reflection is unmatched. It shines a light on areas of your life that might need nurturing, improvement, or even a complete overhaul. Growth begins in the smallest of steps. It might look like dedicating time to your physical health, committing to daily exercise, not just to improve your body, but to build discipline and confidence. It could mean focusing on your emotional well-being, whether that's through journaling, seeking therapy, or simply allowing yourself to sit with and process your feelings. Growth might also manifest in your intellectual pursuits, picking up a book, taking a class, or immersing yourself in something that sparks curiosity and joy. As you begin to focus on yourself, something remarkable happens. You rediscover the parts of you that may have been overshadowed by the needs or presence of others. In relationships, it's common to compromise, to mold yourself in ways that fit the dynamic. But in solitude, you're free to reconnect with the person you are at your core, without external influence. It's in this space that you can cultivate your unique strengths, passions, and ambitions. This focus on growth is not a selfish act, it is a necessary one. When you work on improving yourself, you elevate not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. Imagine yourself as a tree, deeply rooted yet reaching for the sky. The stronger your roots, the more you can withstand storms, and the more you grow, the more shade and fruit you provide to others. By investing in yourself, you naturally inspire and uplift those who cross your path. It's important to remember that growth is not linear, nor is it easy. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when the absence of that person feels like a void too vast to fill. But it is precisely in these moments that growth is happening, when you resist the urge to retreat into old patterns of seeking external validation and instead push forward with self-determination. Every time you choose to prioritize your development, you take a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Growth also involves letting go of blame, whether directed at others or at yourself. Holding on to resentment only binds you to the past, keeping you tethered to what was instead of what could be. Forgiveness, both for yourself and the other person, is a crucial part of the process. It doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or forgetting the lessons learned. It means releasing the emotional baggage that hinders your progress. With that weight lifted, you can move forward with clarity and purpose. As you focus on your growth, you begin to radiate a different energy. This isn't just a metaphysical concept, it's a visible, tangible shift. People notice when someone is working on themselves, not because of any outward announcement, but because of the quiet confidence and determination that emanates from within. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you show up in the world. Growth transforms not only how you see yourself, but how others see you as well. What's fascinating is that this journey of self-improvement often leads to unexpected outcomes. As you pour your energy into becoming the best version of yourself, you may find that the person you once longed for begins to notice the change. They see the strength, the resilience, and the radiance you've cultivated, and it can serve as a mirror, reflecting back to them the areas in their own life where they might need to grow. But the focus must remain on you. It is tempting to measure progress by external reactions, to seek validation in whether or not someone acknowledges your transformation. Resist this temptation. The true measure of growth lies in how you feel about yourself, in the pride you take in your accomplishments, and in the peace you find within. This journey is about becoming not for anyone else, but for yourself. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of pain carries within it the seed of transformation. When you choose to nurture that seed instead of letting it wither in the shadow of loss, you unlock a power within you that is truly limitless. It's not just about bouncing back, it's about rising higher than you ever thought possible. This is the essence of growth, not as a destination, but as a continuous, ever-evolving journey toward your highest self. When you begin to understand the true essence of self-worth, you realize it's not just a concept to be grasped, it's a lifestyle to be embodied. Self-worth isn't about arrogance or thinking you are better than others. It's about recognizing that you have value simply because you exist. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and presence are precious, and not everyone is entitled to them. This realization shifts how you approach relationships, challenges, and even how you see yourself in the mirror every day. True self-worth starts from within. It's not something you gain from accolades, compliments, or external validation. Those things may feel good in the moment, but they're fleeting. Self-worth is about having a steady, unshakable belief in your intrinsic value, regardless of external circumstances. It means knowing that even when others fail to recognize your worth, it doesn't diminish who you are. Their inability to see your value is a reflection of them, not of you. Building self-worth often requires peeling back layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity that have accumulated over time. These layers might come from past relationships, childhood experiences, or societal pressures. They create a false narrative that you're not enough, that you need to prove yourself or earn love and respect. But these narratives are not truths, they are stories we've been told or have told ourselves. To reclaim your self-worth, you must challenge and rewrite these stories. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-worth is by setting boundaries. When you set boundaries, you're sending a clear message not just to others, but to yourself that you value your own needs and well-being. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, they're about creating a safe space where you can thrive. They're about saying, I respect myself enough to not tolerate behavior that diminishes me. When you establish boundaries, you also attract people who respect and value you for who you are. Those who try to undermine your boundaries often reveal their own lack of respect for you, and that's a critical insight. It allows you to discern who is truly supportive of your growth and who is not. This discernment is a vital part of nurturing your self-worth because it ensures that you surround yourself with relationships that uplift rather than drain you. Another important aspect of self-worth is self-compassion. We often hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, criticizing every perceived flaw or mistake. But self-worth isn't about being perfect, it's about embracing your humanity. It's about understanding that mistakes are part of growth and that you are deserving of love and respect even in your imperfections. Practicing self-compassion means speaking to yourself with kindness, forgiving yourself for missteps, and acknowledging your progress, no matter how small. Your self-worth also determines the quality of the relationships you allow into your life. When you recognize your value, you no longer settle for less than you deserve. You stop chasing after people who don't reciprocate your efforts or who treat you as an option rather than a priority. Instead, you focus on building connections with those who appreciate you for who you are, who see your worth without you having to convince them. It's important to understand that self-worth is not static, it's a continuous practice. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when life's challenges make you question your value. But in those moments, remind yourself of everything you've overcome, of the strengths and qualities that make you unique. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and remind yourself that you are worthy simply because you are. One of the most transformative shifts that comes with embracing your self-worth is the way you begin to carry yourself. It changes your posture, your tone of voice, and even the way you walk into a room. People can sense it. They may not be able to articulate it, but they feel the energy of someone who knows their worth. It's magnetic. It commands respect without demanding it. And here's the thing about self-worth, it has a ripple effect. When you treat yourself with respect, others are compelled to treat you the same way. They begin to see you through the lens of how you see yourself. If you carry yourself with confidence and dignity, you set the standard for how others should interact with you. On the other hand, if you allow others to undervalue or mistreat you, it reinforces the message that this behavior is acceptable. Self-worth also influences your decisions, from the goals you pursue to the risks you're willing to take. When you believe in your value, you stop holding yourself back. You stop settling for mediocrity because you know you are capable of achieving more. You start pursuing opportunities that align with your passions and dreams, even if they seem daunting at first. This isn't about arrogance or overconfidence, it's about trusting that you are deserving of success and happiness. Developing self-worth takes time and effort. It's not about flipping a switch and suddenly feeling confident. It's about daily practices, choosing to speak kindly to yourself, investing in your growth, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Each small step reinforces the belief that you are valuable, capable, and deserving of all the good that life has to offer. As this belief grows stronger, it begins to permeate every aspect of your life, shaping the way you think, act, and interact with the world around you. There is something undeniably magnetic about a person who exudes positivity and confidence. It's not simply about putting on a brave face or faking a smile, it's about embodying a deep sense of assurance and optimism that radiates from within. Positivity and confidence are not traits that people are necessarily born with. They are cultivated through intentional choices, habits, and a shift in mindset. When you develop these qualities, you transform not only how you experience life, but also how others perceive and respond to you. Positivity begins with perspective. It's not about ignoring life's challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on what is within your control and finding opportunities for growth and gratitude, even in difficult situations. This mindset doesn't come naturally for everyone, it's a practice. It starts with small, deliberate actions like shifting your attention away from problems and onto solutions, or finding one thing to be grateful for each day. Over time, these practices create a habit of looking for the good, even when it's not immediately obvious. Confidence, on the other hand, is rooted in self-belief. It's the unwavering faith that no matter what happens, you are capable of handling it. Confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself, it means you trust yourself enough to push through that doubt. Building this kind of trust takes time and consistency. It often starts with setting small, achievable goals and following through on them. Each success, no matter how minor, reinforces the belief that you are capable. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate positivity and confidence is through the language you use both outwardly and internally. The words you speak to yourself have a profound impact on your mindset. Negative self-talk, like "I'm not good enough" or "I can't do this," chips away at your confidence and colors your perspective in a negative light. Replacing these thoughts with affirmations such as "I am capable" or "I am worthy of good things" rewires your brain to focus on your strengths rather than your shortcomings. Your body language also plays a significant role in projecting positivity and confidence. The way you carry yourself sends signals not only to others, but also to your own mind. Standing tall, maintaining eye contact, and offering a genuine smile are simple yet powerful ways to exude confidence. These small adjustments in posture and demeanor can have an immediate effect on how you feel and how others perceive you. Positivity and confidence are infectious. When you walk into a room with an open, optimistic energy, people are naturally drawn to you. It's not just about being the loudest or most outgoing person in the room, it's about the quiet assurance you carry. People gravitate toward those who make them feel good, who uplift and inspire. Your energy becomes a magnet for meaningful connections and opportunities. However, it's important to understand that positivity and confidence are not about being naive or overly self-assured. They are about resilience and authenticity. Positivity allows you to acknowledge life's difficulties without being consumed by them. Confidence allows you to admit your fears and shortcomings without letting them define you. Together, these qualities create a balance that is both empowering and approachable. One of the most transformative aspects of radiating positivity and confidence is the way it shifts your relationships. When you carry yourself with assurance and optimism, you set a tone for how others interact with you. People begin to mirror the energy you bring into their lives. If you approach situations with kindness and enthusiasm, you'll often find that others respond in kind. This doesn't mean everyone will automatically treat you well, but it does mean that you'll start attracting people who resonate with your energy. Developing these traits also involves letting go of the need for external validation. True confidence is not about proving yourself to others, it's about being comfortable with who you are, regardless of what anyone else thinks. When you no longer seek approval or fear rejection, you free yourself from the opinions of others. This freedom is empowering. It allows you to take risks, pursue your passions, and express yourself authentically without hesitation. Cultivating positivity and confidence also requires patience and self-compassion. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when challenges seem overwhelming, or when your optimism feels forced. On those days, it's important to remind yourself that this is a journey, not a destination. Positivity and confidence are not about perfection, they're about progress. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Surrounding yourself with supportive, like-minded individuals can also enhance your ability to remain positive and confident. The people you spend time with have a significant influence on your mindset. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you, who celebrate your successes and encourage your growth. Their energy will reinforce your own and create a feedback loop of positivity and encouragement. Another critical element of maintaining positivity and confidence is aligning your actions with your values. When you live in accordance with what truly matters to you, you create a sense of purpose and integrity that bolsters your self-assurance. This alignment makes it easier to stay optimistic, even when faced with challenges, because you know you're living authentically. Ultimately, positivity and confidence are not about pretending to be something you're not. They're about embracing who you are, flaws and all, and choosing to approach life with a mindset that empowers rather than limits you. These qualities are cultivated through consistent effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to growth. As you develop them, you'll find that they don't just change how you see the world, they change how the world sees you. Letting go is often one of the most difficult things we are asked to do in life. We are taught to hold on to relationships, memories, and dreams even when they no longer serve us. There is a belief ingrained in many of us that holding on tightly will protect us, will keep the pieces of our lives together. But in reality, it is through letting go that we create the space for growth, transformation, and new beginnings. Letting go does not mean abandoning hope or giving up. It is not an act of surrendering to defeat, but rather an act of choosing to release what no longer contributes to your well-being or your growth. Whether it's a relationship, a job, a habit, or even an old version of yourself, letting go is an empowering decision. It requires you to confront your fears, your attachments, and your sense of control, and to trust that what's meant for you will not pass you by. The process of letting go starts with awareness. We often hold on because we are unaware of the toll it is taking on our lives. We stay in unhealthy relationships because we're afraid of being alone or of losing something we've grown accustomed to. We hold on to old dreams because they represent who we once were, even though they no longer align with who we are becoming. Awareness allows us to see these attachments for what they truly are: temporary distractions or barriers that prevent us from embracing the future. Once we become aware of what we need to let go of, the next step is acceptance. Accepting that letting go is not a reflection of weakness but of strength. It takes courage to acknowledge that something has run its course and to move forward without regret. We often cling to the past because we fear what lies ahead, but in doing so, we block the potential for something better to enter our lives. Acceptance allows us to release the fear of the unknown and trust in the process of life, knowing that every ending is also a new beginning. Letting go also involves surrendering our need for control. We are often afraid to release something because we believe that if we don't keep a tight grip, things will fall apart. But in truth, holding on too tightly only suffocates growth. Whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, or even our own expectations, we cannot control everything. Life has a rhythm of its own, and sometimes, in order to move forward, we must step back and allow things to unfold naturally. Surrendering control is not about passivity. It's about recognizing that some things are out of our hands and trusting that what is meant for us will find its way to us. A crucial aspect of letting go is releasing attachments to the outcomes. We often hold on to situations or relationships because we have an idea of how they should turn out. We become attached to the outcome, and when it doesn't unfold the way we expect, we feel disappointed or defeated. But the truth is, we cannot control the results of every situation. Letting go means releasing our attachment to the outcome and trusting that whatever happens is for our highest good, even if it's not immediately clear. One of the most liberating aspects of letting go is that it opens up space for something new. When we release what no longer serves us, we make room for new experiences, new people, and new opportunities. The universe is constantly moving, constantly shifting, and it's often our resistance to change that keeps us stuck in the past. By letting go, we create the space for life to flow more freely, bringing with it the things we've been waiting for. Letting go also means choosing to forgive both others and ourselves. Holding on to resentment, anger, or guilt keeps us chained to the past, and it prevents us from fully embracing the present. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs that have been done to us. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight of carrying that hurt. When we forgive, we stop allowing others' actions to control our emotions and our future. This act of forgiveness, whether directed at others or ourselves, is an essential part of letting go because it unburdens us from the past and allows us to step into the future with a clean slate. There is also a sense of self-liberation that comes with letting go. It's a recognition that we are not defined by the people, places, or things we cling to. Our identity is not based on what we have, but on who we are. Letting go of external attachments allows us to reconnect with our inner essence, the part of us that is always whole and complete, regardless of circumstances. In this way, letting go becomes a powerful act of self-liberation, one that brings us closer to the truth of who we are and what we truly desire. Finally, letting go is an ongoing process. It is not something that happens overnight or with a single decision. It requires continuous self-reflection and the willingness to release as new attachments arise. As we move through life, we will encounter new challenges, relationships, and opportunities that may require us to let go once again. The more we practice the art of letting go, the more we learn to trust in the flow of life and in our ability to navigate whatever comes our way. Each time we let go, we grow stronger and more resilient, knowing that we have the power to release what no longer serves us and make space for what is meant to come. Letting go, in all its forms, is not a loss. It is an invitation to freedom, to growth, and to new possibilities. It allows us to shed the old and step into the new, to create the life we've always dreamed of by first releasing the things that no longer align with who we are becoming. Letting go is not about giving up, it's about choosing to move forward with open hands, trusting that life has something better in store. When you let go of the past, you create the freedom to step into the present moment with clarity and purpose. It's not about ignoring the past or pretending that it never happened. The past is an essential part of who you are and how you've arrived at this point in your life, but it doesn't need to control your future. Often we hold on to past hurts, mistakes, or regrets because we believe that they define us. We become so wrapped up in our histories, in what could have been or what should have been, that we lose sight of the possibility of what can be. Letting go of the past doesn't mean erasing it, it means freeing yourself from its grip. The emotional weight of the past can be incredibly draining. It manifests in feelings of resentment, guilt, anger, or regret, and these emotions keep us anchored in times that have already passed. When we hold on to these feelings, we carry them into every new chapter of our lives, weighing down our capacity for joy, growth, and love. To move forward, we must first free ourselves from this emotional baggage. Letting go allows you to release these old emotions and make room for new experiences and a renewed sense of peace. One of the first steps in letting go of the past is acknowledging that it no longer serves you. This may seem obvious, but for many people, it's difficult to accept. We have a tendency to romanticize the past or hold on to it as though it still holds value. However, the truth is that the past, as powerful as it once was, cannot dictate who you are today or who you are becoming. By acknowledging that it no longer serves your present or future, you free yourself from the trap of nostalgia. The moment you stop carrying the past with you, you begin to reclaim your power to shape your future. Letting go of the past requires forgiveness. This is often the hardest part. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others or forgetting the wrongs that have been done to you. It is about releasing yourself from the grip of anger, hatred, or resentment. Holding on to these negative emotions only keeps you chained to the past, perpetuating cycles of hurt and pain. When you forgive, you liberate yourself, not the other person. You stop allowing their actions to define your emotional state or to limit your growth. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it is a powerful act of reclaiming your peace and your freedom. There's also a deep sense of self-liberation that comes with letting go of the past. We often define ourselves by our past experiences, whether good or bad, and allow them to dictate how we show up in the world. But the truth is, you are not your past. Your past is just one part of your story, not the entirety of who you are. When you let go of the stories and labels attached to your past, you make room for a new narrative, one that is written by the choices you make in the present. You can redefine who you are and who you want to become without being weighed down by the mistakes, missed opportunities, or unhealed wounds of yesterday. Letting go of the past also means stopping the cycle of self-blame. Many of us carry the burden of feeling responsible for things that went wrong, whether it's a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a decision we regret. We replay the scenario in our minds, wondering what we could have done differently, believing that somehow if we could just change the past, we could change our present. But the reality is that the past is unchangeable. No matter how much you dwell on it, you cannot alter what has already happened. Instead, you can learn from it. Every experience, every mistake holds a lesson that can propel you forward. Rather than being a source of shame or guilt, the past becomes a tool for growth. Letting go allows you to release the self-blame and embrace the lessons the past has to offer. In letting go of the past, you also release the fear of the future. Fear often arises from our attachment to past failures or traumas. We carry the weight of previous disappointments and we allow those experiences to dictate our expectations for what's to come. But when you free yourself from the grip of the past, you can approach the future with an open mind and an open heart. You no longer have to live in fear of repeating past mistakes or encountering similar pain. Instead, you see the future as a blank slate full of possibilities. Moreover, letting go of the past gives you the opportunity to fully engage with the present moment. The present is the only time we can truly experience life. It is where all the power lies. But when we are caught up in the past, we are not fully present in the now. We miss out on the richness of our current experiences because our thoughts are trapped in what was. Letting go of the past means releasing your mental attachment to it so you can embrace the present with both feet firmly planted in the here and now. This presence opens you up to the beauty, excitement, and potential of the current moment. A key part of letting go of the past is also recognizing that it doesn't define your worth. Your past, no matter how painful or triumphant, does not determine your value. You are not less because of your mistakes, nor more because of your successes. Your worth is inherent and unshakable. Letting go of the past means freeing yourself from the belief that you must justify your existence with past achievements or defend yourself against past failures. You simply are, and that is enough. Finally, when you let go of the past, you allow space for healing. Many of us carry old wounds, physical, emotional, or psychological, that stem from past experiences. These wounds can fester and grow if we don't allow ourselves to heal. Healing begins when you acknowledge that the past is over, that it cannot continue to harm you unless you allow it. Letting go of the past means giving yourself permission to heal, to move forward without the weight of old scars holding you back. It's an act of compassion towards yourself, one that says, I am ready to heal, to move forward, to live fully in the present. The importance of being willing to move on in life cannot be overstated. Life is constantly evolving, and to thrive, we must be open to the possibility of change and the unknown. Often we become comfortable in our routines, in the relationships we've built, and in the circumstances we find ourselves in. While comfort has its place, it can also trap us. The fear of moving on, the fear of leaving behind what is familiar, keeps us stuck. But in order to grow, to become more of who we are meant to be, we must learn to embrace change and let go of what no longer serves us. Moving on is not about running away from the past or denying its significance. It's about creating the space for new possibilities. At some point, every person encounters a moment where staying where they are becomes more painful than stepping into the unknown. This is the point where the old way of doing things, the old patterns, the old relationships, or even the old self begins to weigh heavily. At this juncture, moving on becomes a necessary act of self-preservation. The process can feel daunting, even terrifying, because it asks us to step out of our comfort zones, to relinquish the security of what we know, and to trust in the future. The fear of uncertainty often keeps us paralyzed, but it's important to recognize that growth, real growth, can only happen when we venture into uncharted territory. Moving on is about understanding that staying in one place indefinitely is a form of stagnation. The world around us continues to evolve, and our circumstances change, often in ways we cannot control. While this change may feel unsettling, it is a natural part of life. Change is the only constant we can count on, and learning to move with it allows us to live in harmony with the flow of life. Stubbornly resisting change is like swimming against the current of a river. You may exert a great deal of energy, but you will ultimately be swept downstream. The art of moving on is about surrendering to the flow of life, allowing yourself to be carried forward, knowing that the current will take you exactly where you need to be. An essential part of moving on is the recognition that not all things are meant to last forever. Relationships, careers, opportunities, they all have their seasons. When we hold on too tightly to these things out of fear of losing them, we limit our ability to experience what's next. Every chapter in life is meant to be experienced fully, but when that chapter ends, the next one must begin. Moving on is not about abandoning what came before. It's about honoring what was, acknowledging its value, and then allowing yourself to evolve. It's about creating space for new experiences and new connections that can help you grow into the person you are becoming. Part of moving on is realizing that we are not defined by our past experiences. Often we get caught up in thinking that the roles we've played, the failures we've experienced, or the pain we've endured make up who we are. But in truth, we are not our past, we are our potential. Moving on is about releasing the idea that who we were defines who we are going to be. It's about breaking free from the identities we have built for ourselves based on old stories. These stories can be limiting, and they prevent us from stepping into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Moving on is a form of self-liberation, a declaration that we are not bound by what has happened to us in the past. Moving on also requires letting go of fear, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and the fear of not being able to cope with what comes next. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that keep us stuck. It is the voice that tells us to stay in the safe zone, to play small, to avoid taking risks. But the truth is, fear is often a signal that we are on the verge of something great. When we move beyond our fears, we unlock the door to new opportunities. Every time we confront our fears and choose to move on, we expand our capacity for resilience and success. The more we practice moving on in the face of fear, the less power fear has over us. Another important aspect of moving on is trusting in the process of life. Often we resist change because we feel as though we need to control the outcome. We want to know what will happen next, how it will happen, and when it will happen. But life doesn't work that way. We cannot predict or control everything. Moving on requires a leap of faith, a trust that, even when we can't see the full picture, we are being guided toward what is best for us. Trusting the process means surrendering our need for certainty and being willing to take steps forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. As we move on, we must also be willing to let go of the need for closure. Sometimes we hold on to situations or relationships because we believe that closure will bring us peace. We may wait for someone to apologize, for things to be resolved, or for the full understanding of why something ended. But the truth is, closure doesn't always come in the way we expect. Moving on is about accepting that we may never have all the answers, but that is okay. Sometimes closure is something we create for ourselves by deciding that it's time to move forward, even without all the answers. To truly move on, we must also embrace the power of forgiveness, both for ourselves and for others. Holding on to grudges, anger, or resentment only keeps us tied to the past. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful behavior, it's about releasing the grip that the past has on us. It is a way of freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of pain and disappointment, allowing us to heal and open ourselves up to new experiences. Moving on, in this sense, is an act of self-love. It's about choosing peace over pain and choosing growth over stagnation. Ultimately, moving on is a declaration that we are ready to embrace what is to come. It's about trusting in our ability to handle the challenges of the future, knowing that we have the strength, resilience, and wisdom to navigate whatever life brings. Moving on is not a rejection of the past, it's a celebration of the future, a recognition that the best is yet to come. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we make room for what will. Moving on is an act of faith in our own journey and in the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Sometimes the very act of letting go of something that seems impossible to part with is the key to understanding that you are deserving of more. The idea that we are worthy of something better, something greater, is often a deeply transformative realization. It's easy to feel as though we must cling to what we have, even if it no longer serves us, because we are afraid that if we let go, we will be left with nothing. This fear of emptiness, of being unworthy, often keeps us holding on to relationships, opportunities, or lifestyles that are no longer aligned with our true desires. But the truth is, when you finally let go, when you release what no longer serves you, you create the space for something better to enter your life. The simple yet profound act of releasing the old allows new, more fulfilling things to take their place. The concept of being deserving of something better requires a shift in mindset. Often we are taught to settle for less than we desire, to accept what comes our way rather than actively pursue what we truly want. Society and culture sometimes send the message that we should be grateful for whatever we get, even if it isn't what we truly want or need. This mindset can create feelings of inadequacy, as though we should be satisfied with what is given to us, even when it doesn't make us happy or fulfilled. But the truth is, you are deserving of abundance, of love, of joy, and of success if you are willing to release what no longer serves your highest good. The belief that you deserve more is not about being greedy or entitled, it's about recognizing your inherent worth. Every person has the right to live a life of fulfillment and happiness. But sometimes we need to make the conscious decision to open ourselves up to the possibility that something better is waiting for us. This might involve making difficult choices, such as leaving behind a job that doesn't inspire you or ending a relationship that no longer brings you joy. Letting go of what is no longer working is an act of self-respect and a testament to your worthiness. When we hold on to things or people out of fear or insecurity, we often forget that holding on to the wrong things can prevent us from experiencing what we truly desire. By releasing the things that no longer align with our growth or happiness, we are essentially making a declaration that we are open to receiving more. This act of openness allows life to surprise us in ways we couldn't have imagined. New opportunities, new people, and new experiences enter our lives when we clear away the old. Letting go is the first step toward making space for a more meaningful and aligned life. One of the most powerful aspects of letting go and embracing the idea that you deserve better is the shift it causes in your energy. When you let go of the things that drain you, whether it's toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or environments that stifle your growth, you raise your energetic vibration. You begin to attract what is in alignment with your new level of energy. It's as if you are telling the universe that you are no longer willing to settle for less than what you deserve. This shift in energy magnetizes the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances into your life. By simply acknowledging that you deserve more, you begin to open the door to what is truly meant for you. It's important to remember that the process of letting go is not just about external circumstances. Often, the things we hold on to most tightly are the limiting beliefs we have about ourselves. We may believe that we are not worthy of love, success, or happiness. We may feel as though we have to prove ourselves to earn the right to have what we desire. But these beliefs are just that, beliefs. They are not facts, and they are not permanent. When you recognize that you are worthy of more, you begin to challenge these limiting beliefs. You start to see yourself not as someone who is less than or undeserving, but as someone who has infinite potential. You are worthy of all the good things that life has to offer, and the moment you truly internalize this truth, everything begins to shift. Letting go of the idea that you are unworthy of something better also requires stepping into a place of trust. Trust that what is meant for you will come when you make space for it. Trust that the universe, life, or whatever you choose to believe in will guide you to the right people, circumstances, and opportunities when you release the old. Trust that the road ahead, while uncertain, will be filled with new experiences that will bring you closer to the life you deserve. Letting go is not a passive act, it is an active decision to trust in the unfolding of your life. It is choosing to believe that there is more for you, and that when you release what no longer serves you, something better will take its place. In many ways, letting go of the old and embracing the idea that you deserve more is an act of self-love. It's about choosing yourself over fear, over insecurity, and over the past. It's about acknowledging that you don't have to settle for anything less than your highest potential. Sometimes we fear that by letting go, we are losing something valuable. But in truth, we are creating space for the invaluable to enter our lives. We are allowing ourselves to be open to greater possibilities, to deeper connections, and to experiences that will bring us more joy, fulfillment, and success. By letting go, you make room for the life that is meant for you. It's a life that is aligned with your true desires, one where you no longer feel like you're compromising or settling. You are deserving of the highest form of love, success, and happiness. When you truly embrace this belief, everything in your life begins to change. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will come to you, not because you are striving for them, but because you are simply ready to receive them. Letting go is the catalyst for this transformation. It is the first step in claiming the life you deserve, the life you were always meant to live. And when they come back, you'll know it wasn't because you waited. It was because you became. Thank you.